Which platform should you pick for your crowdfunding campaign when it comes to the choice, Kickstarter or Indiegogo? In this video, we'll analyze all the differences, pros and cons of these two big crowdfunding platforms and why you would pick up one or the other. Yes, it finally comes the time. This is a video that you are asking me guys from so long, and I'm so happy to guide you through this important choice. What's up creators, it's Mattia here with a new crowdfunding coaching video. Firstly, the major differences between Kickstarter and Indiegogo are strictly technical. What does it mean? There are 5 major technical differences between these two platforms. Before to move further though, make sure to smash like and subscribe to my channel to support me and to stay always updated on fresh new content that I'm gonna weekly sharing here on YouTube and on my website mattiadistasi.com, where you'll find a lot of precious information such as free ebook and cheat sheet to start planning your crowdfunding campaign launch properly. Anyway, let's go ahead with today's topic. The first technical difference between the platforms is the goal setup. In fact, on Indiegogo you can select a flexible or a fixed goal for your campaign. On Kickstarter you can only go for a fixed amount. This means that if you don't reach the goal amount, you'll not, as a creator, get the money raised. Which is different from what could happen on Indiegogo though, where if you select a flexible goal, you as a creator can take the money even if the goal is not reached. From the backer's point of view, the risk management with Kickstarter is definitely more leveraged, because the money on Kickstarter are gonna be charged only on the credit card at the end of the campaign, and if the creator reached the goal. On Indiegogo, with a flexible goal, the card will be charged at the same time of the pledging. Second difference, the Facebook pixel. On the Indiegogo page, we as creators can install the Facebook pixel, which is a cookie by Facebook that is gonna consent us to do retargeting with our Facebook advertisement by gathering precious information about the backers and the traffic got over the page to become more precise with the Facebook ads targeting. This means that we'll be able to drastically drop down the acquisition cost for single backer and increase our margins over single pre-sales. This, for me, still the most important difference, because in some cases can be a really game changer. In fact, doing the same retargeting on Kickstarter is not possible due to the fact that we cannot install the Facebook pixel, but only the Google Analytics code. So it's still possible doing some Facebook ads retargeting there, using some third-party tool, but the results will not be so efficient as well. One of the tools that will allow you to do so is called Pixel.me. You can find more info about that in the Crowdfunding Tools of the trade list that I've created just a couple of weeks ago. You can get the complete list on my website. I'll add the link to that in the video description below. Third difference. The Referral Program. A very cool feature on Indiegogo is the Referral Program. You can create and host a referral program directly over the Indiegogo page. This means that every backers or users can create their own referral link for the campaign and share it with their communities and take a fee on the sales generated over the campaign from their shoutout. Which is great. That feature would definitely bump up our sales and let us to use our community in the most effective way. Unfortunately, on Kickstarter there is not anything like that. In fact, you need to rely on a third-party tool again to host a referral program or contest for your crowdfunding campaign. The name of the recommended tool this time is Kickbooster, and you can find more info about that on the tools of the trade list, like before in the video description below. The fourth difference is the possibility to create a secret perk on Indiegogo. What is that? Essentially is a link which you can create as campaign owner to let appear a not visible perk in your campaign only to the people who are gonna go over the campaign using that special link. How would you use it? Well, it can have multiple applications. For example, you can create a super early bird perk only for a specific segment of your community without making it available to the whole traffic over the page. You can either create a secret perk available only for the people who have already supported your crowdfunding campaign to motivate them in backing again, and so on. That is gonna consent you to make your community feel special. Fifth difference, the Indemand program. Guess what? Not available on Kickstarter. Well, since some years ago, we can open an Indiegogo Indemand program, which is actually a sort of e-commerce hosted on the Indiegogo platform that creators can get access to right after a successful crowdfunding campaign. This means that you, as a campaign owner, can still pre-sell your products even after the end of the actual crowdfunding campaign. In this way, you will not lose all the traction and the SEO generated over the campaign during the course of the previous days. But instead, you'll be able to still counting on that to still gather new pre-orders. Now, the situation here is different even in terms of fees, because we can get access to this Indiegogo Indemand program right after a successful campaign on Indiegogo, or even if you got a successful campaign on Kickstarter either. The difference is in the fee, because both platforms charge you 5% fee on the amount raised within the course of the crowdfunding campaign, but then to get access to the in-demand, you will still charge 5% if you are coming from Indiegogo and 10% if you are coming from other platforms. Kickstarter. Anyway, it's a very cool feature and it's a shame that it's only available on Indiegogo. One thing that I forgot to mention before is that also the criteria to being accepted on Kickstarter and Indiegogo are different. For example, on Kickstarter you can only run a campaign if you already have a physical working prototype for your project, and on Indiegogo you can get accepted even if your product is still an idea. I have actually created a video also about that I'm gonna post in the end card. Now, we finished to analyze the main technical differences, but I'm sure that your question's still there. Okay, Mattia, so which platform should we use, Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Well, the real answer depends on the nature of your project. Yes, exactly. Based on which project you're about to launch, you wanna pick up one or the other platform. So how does it work? The thing is that every platform has a big community created over the course of the years, and every community has its own preferences. For example, on Kickstarter, movies, games, board games, and design projects are very famous. About that, I have created a video on the most funded Kickstarter campaign in 2020, and it was about a board game. I'll put the link in the end card. On Indiegogo, for example, wearable and e-bikes are very famous too. The communities are gonna be really important for the success of the campaign. Because based on the traffic and the people that the platform will be able to drive over the campaign page, will be able to raise more. About that, it's very important to point out a very important thing. The Kickstarter backers community is definitely larger than the Indiegogo one. So this means that if you want to launch a product in crowdfunding in the States, you'll have the chance to engage with a bigger community on Kickstarter. Still, that for the first time in 2020, Indiegogo raised more money than Kickstarter in the design and tech category, which is a pretty impressive stuff, because we are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars raised. In conclusion, my warm suggestion in choosing the platform is to do some research on Kickstarter and Indiegogo for similar projects of yours and see on which platform you'll find more successful campaigns and the highest amount raised in that field. At that point, you'll have a better idea of where your project can be more successful based on which platform has the most solid community created in your sim field. If you need to get a better idea of how to do this research, I have also created a spreadsheet file called Crowdfunding Competitors Analysis that will guide you on how to gather precious info about similar projects for putting together the most epic campaign using past successful experiences. I'll post the link to that file in the video description as well. So, did you already choose the platform for your campaign? Make sure to let me know that leaving a comment below. I'm so curious to read your feedback on that. Anyway, whatever kind of platforms you'll choose, there is only one golden rule to follow to get fully funded: the community building. That's still the most effective turnaround for make sure to launch a successful crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter and Indiegogo both. In fact, the campaign page and the actual launch are the very last steps to take. The most important priority is to build a warm and solid community of potential backers interested in backing you before the actual launch, to converting backers once live. So, in order to know more about this whole pre-launch phase, I've got you covered with my crowdfunding pre-launch manual called 3 Simple Steps to Success on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It's gonna guide you through the right strategy to follow in order to build the right community of potential backers for your project. You can grab it for free by visiting the link in the description below. As always guys, it was a pleasure, and this is the end of a very important video that I wanted to do for so long, and I finally got it. Make sure to smash like and press subscribe to my channel to stay always updated on fresh new content that I'm gonna drop and for supporting my work. Have a great one, ciao ciao!